Welcome. This is Elsie Kearns, and tonight we have our last EEM online telecoaching. Our guest this evening is Marjorie Fein, and she's not only an EEM advanced practitioner, but also one of the founding faculty for the Eden Energy Medicine Certification Program. Margie has helped write curriculum, and she has also taught a number of classes. In fact, she just came back from Phoenix last night, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. But she's also versed in aromatherapy, psych-K, EFT, and actually mentored under the EFT guru herself, Carol Look. So we're really looking forward to speaking with Marjorie tonight. And I want to welcome you, Marjorie, and so glad we have this time together.
Thank you, Elsie. I'm so appreciative that you're having me as your curtain call here.
Yeah. So Marjorie, I just want to begin because I always start with this, asking our Eden Energy Medicine teachers, how did you find Eden Energy Medicine, and what was your experience in meeting Donna?
Yeah, it's a fun story. I was a professional musician for 25 years and then decided to get my massage license. And so I did massage for a year or two, and I started getting really bored with tendinitis and sciatica. I wanted to really be able to work with a much broader clientele. So I was thinking about acupuncture school, nutrition, and I never went to college. So I would have had to go to college and then do those things, which was just so burdensome and an idea to me. And I'm also someone who loves to study but hates school. So anyway, I live in New York City, of course, and I'd never been to the Omega Institute, and I had a friend who had also never been. So year comes around, we try to find a weekend we can both go. There is not one weekend that both of us can go. Another year goes by, we try again, and there is only one weekend we both can go. I said to her, I don't care what class I take, as long as I get continuing ed credits for it. The only class that offered continuing ed credits for me was Donna Eden's 3-day class there. I had never heard of Donna Eden. I had never heard of energy medicine, but I went in, and 3 weeks later, I was at a 5-day, which was the venue then, and I've been hooked ever since. It was in 2002, and I was just so utterly captivated by Donna and the work, and I've been hooked in ever since. So it was meant to be, clearly.
And how did you convince Donna? I mean, she did so much teaching. How was it that you brought together all of this, helped her form the school and what we now know as the EEM certification program? Because I know you teach foundations as well. Tell us about that.
You know, it was such an honor to me because actually I was not one of the people who helped initiate the program. I came in as a founding faculty. Donna Kemper and I were the least experienced teachers that they had. And actually at first I thought they might have made a mistake and invited me by accident because I was so new. But then I thought, you know, these people are all psychic. So if they think I'm ready, I guess I am. And dove right in and just decided to humbly do the best that I could. And then later, I had the honor of being brought in to help create the Year 4 curriculum. So that was really awesome. I've worked on, actually I'm on a committee now that just is rewriting and revamping all the foundation handouts. So I've been a member, we just started our 10th year. So it was quite a special CP that I just came back from because 10 years, that's a real accomplishment, and it's really evolved and changed so much. I've been a foundations teacher now in my 7th year. I have personally graduated 70 students in New York City. When I started, there was 3 of us. Now there are 70 graduates, so I'm really personally thrilled and proud of that. So it's been an awesome ride, and I still feel as excited about it now as I did 10 years ago, honestly.
Well, just a little side note, I always loved going to Arizona. I could swear those natives were beating the drums that the Indians knew we were returning for one of those classes. And it must be quite a change from the hubbub of New York City.
It really is. One thing is, I have the best job in the world. I'm so lucky. There's so many ways to work with this this modality, but teaching there, it's so awesome, and it's so true. I live in Brooklyn. It's a busy. I mean, I turned all my sound off, but I can't control if an ambulance or a fire truck goes by. The location there, folks haven't been, is so beautiful. They have 300 rose bushes. They have tons of native flora. Right now in May, all the cactuses were sprouting, all kinds of surreal things. And it really is a wonderful atmosphere to learn this work in, because the nature there is so rich and so beautiful. The two pools don't hurt either, I must say, but it's really conducive to learning, to have that kind of natural beauty there.
Thanks, Margie. And I want to just go to this question.
Okay.
I don't want to forget that Christina sent in, and she had a question about oils. And I know that you're well versed in aromatherapy. And her question was, what are the certain go-to oils that you use for chakras? And then she also wanted to know if there were any favorite diffusing blends that you use during a session.
Absolutely. So I actually just finished teaching a class on advanced chakra work, and a lot of it was about bringing in sound, color, and oils. And one thing I will do, Elsie, is I have a little PDF that lists for each chakra. There really are 3 or 4 oils that you can use. So I'm glad to send that to you, Elsie. Maybe you can post that as an extra slide. So
okay.
It'll give you 3 or 4 choices for each chakra. And what you can do is you can take the oil, put it on the solar plexus. So let's say you test a root chakra and it's weak. You can take one of the oils, put it on the solar plexus, and then retest. And then if it's the right oil, you will then get a strong test. So one thing I will say is there's a couple of oils that work with lots of chakras. For example, well, first off, I use Young Living. They're an awesome company just for quality of oils, and I love their blends. So the blends I'm going to talk about will be Young Living oil blends. Valor is a very popular blend. It's awesome for the first chakra and also for grounding. So you can do is you put a drop on the hand, rub it, let the client inhale it a few times, and then actually do the clearing with the oil on your hands. Another blend they use is called Joy. It's primarily a heart chakra oil, but it will balance all the chakras. So that's a really good go-to. Another one that works with all the chakras is called Harmony. So those are 3 that if you wanted to get the root chakra going, which we all know shoots the energy up the chakras, or 2 oils that will bring balance to all the chakras, Joy and Harmony. For my room, I don't use a ton of them because people come with all sorts of issues. So I want to find an oil that will be beneficial for all, kind of like the daily energy routine of oils. It's great for everyone and won't harm anyone. Valor, again, is an awesome choice. Lavender's nickname is the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. So it both will calm and energize. It has that versatility. It'll give you what you need, and it smells delicious. 2 other blends on Peace and Calming and Stress Away are both, especially Peace and Calming. It has a neutral smell. It has a little bit of wood and some orange notes, but it'll just bring a sense of calm to the whole space. Valor, again, as well. It's grounding, and it's really also a water element oil, so to give people courage in a really gentle kind of way, in that grounded way. So those are 3 of my go-tos. Another really good one is lemon. Lemon has a really nice fresh smell, and it's really good for uplifting the spirits. So if people have any kind of sadness or just low energy, it just uplifts. So that's a nice one too.
So Marjorie, when you talk about the oils, you were suggesting you put them on your hands and work with them over the chakras. Are you actually putting them on the individual's body or working over the body with them?
So you can do both. I would say that if you have no oil experience, don't put them on the body, because some of them are, I'm going to use the word caustic, but they're strong, like oils like oregano or rosemary. They're very powerful. And sometimes the skin can be sensitive. One quick test if you want to do that is you can put a drop, just put a little drop, a tiny bit on the inside of the elbow, and wait a couple of minutes, and that will let you know if the body can handle it. But again, a lot of those stronger oils, you often need to dilute them, like do a 50-50 with a carrier oil, which would be a neutral fatty oil like jojoba, grapeseed, almond oil's nice, even olive oil if that's all you have. So if you're not experienced, you can avoid that problem altogether by, you rub a drop or two between your hands, you can have them inhale it. Always have people cup the nose, not the eyes, because if they're volatile, it can irritate the eyes. So cup the nose and inhale, or you can rub a drop, and if my hand was a chakra, just clear in the field above. Very, very safe, both of those methods.
Sounds perfect. And some of the oils that you mentioned, I also use. And I agree with you. Everything you said, I find very true.
And you can get really simple, small but thorough guides that will tell you, like desk references, that will tell you, they'll always let you know what is the ratio, can it be ingested, can you use it topically, or ratio of essential oil to carrier oil. And that's just, anyone who's into oils, I would recommend getting one of those. Actually, I think I have one right here. If people can see, this is Life Science. It's a really awesome book, and it's only about $30. It's a small version of their big desk reference.
Good idea to have that. And I agree that being careful, because some of the other oils that you mentioned, like rosemary, and some of these are really, really strong. So you do have to be careful and learn how to use them.
Essential oils are medicine. They are powerful. They're chemical powerhouses. Most essential oils have somewhere between 200 and 500 chemical constituents to them. They're really complex. So we want to use them, safely and judiciously and appropriately. Used that way, they're unbelievable tools, and they blend so beautifully with energy work and enhance that work like crazy.
And of course, very non-invasive. So Marjorie, how did you actually take your clients from a complete massage therapy practice where, they're undressing and covered with sheets, to a full EEM practice where they don't have to remove their clothes, just their shoes? How did you make those transitions with your clients?
Really good question. It happened gradually. I would say that it probably took a few years to get where I still do a massage or two a week, but if I see 15 clients in a week, probably 1 or 2 are straight ahead massages. And I do have a couple of people I do combo sessions with. But this is how I started to introduce it. First is that there's a lot of quickie energy balancer stuff that you can do in the context of massage. So simply rocking the body, sweeping the body, all of this feels like massage work. So but they don't realize that you're doing energy techniques. All they know is they feel fantastic from your work. So I started doing a lot more, when I was just straight ahead massage, I might rock them a little bit and do some stretching, but I made that intro longer, maybe 10 or 12 minutes instead of 2 or 3. Lots of rocking, lots of body sweeping and figure eights. I would spend a lot of time opening the feet and the hands. So we know that, especially the feet, we ground through the feet. Energy gets stuck there, in the hands too. So I would really open up the gates of the feet and the hands, and I would do spinal flushes on them. So again, a lot more energetic techniques, and they would start to say, wow, I feel really good. Or also, classic for massage therapists is just to cover the face for a moment or two. Well, I would start holding neurovasculars, and I would think about, oh, this person has a tendency towards anger. They have a tendency towards panic. I would hold the appropriate neurovasculars, and they didn't know I was doing neurovasculars. They just knew that they start to feel more ease. So that was the first thing. Also, another great thing is when you start to think about what meridians are associated with which muscles. For example, I would do a lot more calf work than most massage therapists do, because we're all people in, I mean, not just New York, but people tend to be stressed here. So to work that, it would, that's the associated muscle to triple warmer. So that would, all of a sudden, they would be calmer. That's the first thing I did. Then what I started doing is I would, people talk to you. They would tell you about their digestion, their sleep. And I might say to them, how would you feel about me adding 10 or 15 minutes for free of some of these new techniques that I used? So I'd start, holding sedation points, working neurolymphatics, doing more straight ahead energy work, unclear chakras over a painful area. And most of the time they liked it. And then what would happen is, instead of doing an hour massage, they would make it a 75-minute or a 90-minute. And I started to do combos. So that was a really natural way. And I never forced it on anyone. I would just ask, would you like to feel some of this? I started getting better. People started getting more results. And then it started morphing. I started doing more of these combo sessions. And then as I started getting certified also in EEM, I would get on the website. I would get, I was on the Inner Source website, or I was a faculty member. So people started drifting in that way as well.
Great. That sounds like a very easy transition. And I know myself, everybody loves that spinal flush. Even if they're not sure in the beginning, they say, oh my God, that feels so great. And I feel so much more relaxed. So it's just kind of like that golden technique, as you said. If you do that once, they want to know what that is and to have more.
Yeah. The other thing I would start to do too, now you've frozen a bit. Oh, there you go. Now you're back to life. Other thing I would do too is, let's say I had someone who, always got colds, straight ahead massage client. I would say to them, if you just tap this spot, it kicks in your thymus gland, which is what produces the T cells. And I'd say, anytime you think, 3 or 4 times a day, whenever you feel that cold coming on, just thump that or thump a spleen point, and they would start doing it. Or if they had allergies, I'd show them where, the lung source point was. And I'd say, just rub this spot, a few times a day, try it. And again, that was another way that they started to get empowered. Or I'd teach them smoothing behind the ears if they were stressed, or expelling the venom, one exercise. And this stuff works. So they would do that, start to feel better, and that would open up their curiosity.
So that sounds like this also has led you into teaching the classes that you do. Tell us about some of the classes that you're teaching now.
So I run a foundations class every year, and I teach various classes for Donna. I'm in Arizona every year, but I do also do a lot of writing of my own classes. A lot of them combine energy medicine, energy psychology, and essential oils. Left to my own devices, that's my favorite, because what I have found in now 15 years or more of practice is that for some people, the energy medicine is just, that's the key in the lock. For some people, energy psychology really breaks through, and for some people, it's the oils. The combination works beautifully. Even if the oils is the thing for them, they all do a daily energy routine. I always spend time opening their energies. But I find that having a broad toolbox like that really allows you, that's the beauty of Eden Energy Medicine, is that we work with so many different systems, and it allows us to be very individualized in our approach to working with folks. So I find that bringing those 3 modalities in really is helpful, and empowering. So I do a lot of classes on digestion. I have just found, really a lot of what teaching healthy digestion is about is reducing stress and adrenaline and, that whole stress response, fight or flight in the body. So I do a lot of classes on digestion. I'm actually teaching one in Annapolis on June 18th. Again, it'll be a combination. I call it Make Friends with Your Food. And combination of Eden Energy, energy psychology, and essential oils. I do a lot of classes on stress. I also do classes on manifesting. I have an awesome class that I call The Practical Mystic's Guide to a Lucrative Career. And it teaches a little bit about Business Building 101, but the majority of the class is about learning how to track your own energies. What is it in my energies? Because we all know that when our energies are open and moving, things come our way. So what are our own energetic blocks, whether it's energy medicine, vortexes, meridians, chakras, or energy psychology, what is in our own way when it comes to attracting and cultivating business and balancing our own energies about it. And I don't advertise. I have a very low profile, but I have done very well. And I think it's mostly because I use the energetic tools to create suggestibility and remove blockages. I'm teaching classes on hormones, and actually I'm writing one right now. I teach a satellite up in Massachusetts, and I'm writing one right now on autoimmune disease and energy medicine, and also nutrition and oils for that. But I'll teach anything anyone wants me to. I love teaching. I don't care if it's a day or 3 days or 3 hours. I find it so unbelievably rewarding to, one, help practitioners really broaden and teach them really clear ways to apply simple tools. And I also love teaching lay people how to take control of their own healing. So I'll teach 3-hour courses to people who have no experience in energy medicine, but have physical issues or emotional issues that have been intractable for them.
Margie, do you see in New York or in other areas that the idea of energy medicine, because actually all medicine, even our traditional system, is energy medicine. Do you see a broader acceptance?
I actually really do. Periodically, if I have a client or a friend or a family member in the hospital, I will go and work on them. And I worked on a friend about 6 months ago, and she was going through a leukemia treatment. And I was going in, she had to stay in the hospital for quite a long time. And instead of them saying, "What are you doing?" they said, "Oh, what modality are you doing?" It was really an open question. They worked around me with absolutely no, what I call the hairy eyeball in Brooklyn, no funny looks. And so I've been really heartened by that, and seeing more and more functional doctors in New York as well, getting more referrals. So, we're still at the beginning of that road, but I think that there's been a lot of progress made. I've been very happy about that.
Well, I know that as part of the energy psychology and EFT, you actually mentored with Carol Look, and I have seen her do a couple things, mostly on video or programs on the internet, but she seems like a very straightforward, no-nonsense lady.
She is. She's very metal with, I think, a wood secondary. So, she's pretty direct, although she's got a lot of earth. And I was very lucky. I did my level 1 and level 2 of EFT with her. And then she did some master classes, or kind of more group supervision for people who had done 2 levels. And it was a small, intimate group of 5 or 6 people, and I did several of those. I met with her recently. I've been working on a project with a colleague of mine to work with war veterans, and so we did some private consultation with her. We had about 3 hours of just getting her input on that, and it was awesome. I feel that she brings a real artfulness to EFT that's unusual, and so I feel really lucky that I studied with David also, but I feel very lucky to have spent time with her. Again, she brings a real fluidity to it that I found really inspiring.
Well, the first time that I heard Donna talk about tapping and how that is one of the only 2 things, tapping and rocking, that will actually bypass that triple warmer. It was like a light bulb that went on that made so much sense as to why emotional freedom technique and all the ways it's been developed has been so successful.
Yeah, I want to do a plug also for the other energy psychology modality I use. It's called psych-K, like psychology, kinesiology. And it's not nearly as well known, unfortunately, because they don't give anything away for free, which I think really is a shame. EFT, you can go on the website and just download tons of stuff and start tapping away. Psych-K, for some reason, hasn't caught on to that. But it's also an incredibly powerful modality for shifting subconscious beliefs. And I have had clients with, really meaningful social phobias, or all sorts of limiting beliefs. And that has been really revolutionary in unwinding these. Also, someone can just be physically ill for a while, and they're going to start to develop the belief that I'm never going to be able to get rid of this. I'm stuck with this for life. So to have both of these modalities in your pocket to open up suggestibility and soothe that distressing belief is so instrumental in affecting change in the body.
Well, the fact that our thoughts are energy is
Yeah.
one of the best reasons to, like you said, I like what you said, have the EFT or psych-K in your back pocket. So before that belief system gets so set in, it's easier to get it moving forward and release before you get stuck with it, literally.
Absolutely. And also, for those who are into oils and don't know this, oils are unbelievable for emotional issues. So when we have experiences when we're younger and we don't release the energy of them, they go into what's called the limbic system of the brain, which is the seat of the emotions. And so, for example, let's say you get really angry for some reason. If you don't release that anger and move it, it gets stored in the liver, which is the organ that has the same vibration. So in Eden energy medicine, we only think about the 12 meridians in those organs, but actually we have hundreds of tissues and ducts and organs and glands that all have their own subtle emotional energy. Now, every smell has an energy as well. The only sense that accesses the limbic brain is the sense of smell. The olfactory nerve interfaces directly with the limbic brain, so it's the only sense that can unleash or unwind emotions that get stuck. So every emotion has a vibration, every organ or body part has a vibration, and every oil has a vibration. When you match those three up, it unleashes it or unwinds it from the limbic brain, and you can get huge response to that. That's why when we smell chocolate chip cookies baking, we immediately get transported back to grandma and that warm, delicious smell. So just a little extra add-on there about oils and emotions.
Yeah, just to pick up on that, one of the things I said in my ESP class is that actually the sense of smell used to be the highest high sense perception that humans had as primitive man. And of course, we've lost that today with deodorants and perfumes and so on. But the one thing about the oils is they're one of the few things that can cross that blood-brain barrier, right, as you just explained, and can actually go into that limbic system combined with the other things to help release a major issue.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And just simply, so for example, if I have a client who is, let's say depressed, I might give them a little lemon oil and just tell them, whenever you feel blue, just inhale, and it starts to really unwind that and make meaningful changes. And it's really easy. Another thing about oils is that, most of us were brought up on Western medicine where the doctor says, take these 3 times a day and call me in the morning. There's something about using an oil that reminds people of that. And I've sometimes found that I get more compliance with folks using an essential oil. I'll say 3 times a day, put a drop, over here, and then rub and inhale. And sometimes when people are not compliant about doing energy medicine exercises, I'll find that they're willing to use the oils. So, I'll take any road to Rome that I can find as far as that goes.
Yeah, I like that. Any road to Rome, that's great. So, Margie, we all love our leader, Donna. She, is somebody, the first time I saw her, back in 2000, I said, I don't know what that is up there, but I want that.
I want to drink that Kool-Aid.
So do you have a favorite story about Donna? Because, you've been with her almost from the beginning of some of the, formation of the energy program and all the things that have gone on. And we all have our favorite stories of her, but I wondered if there was something special that you chuckle about more than others.
Well, there's one that I chuckle about, and it really exemplifies how energy is always moving. One of my favorite questions that students ask me is, I want you to teach me exactly the way Donna does. And I always say, on what day, what hour, what minute, because she will teach something different from moment to moment, following the energy. But one of the things I love about Donna is that she has absolutely no dogma. She just rolls with what is happening. So one story that always entertains me, I was at an Omega event a few years after I met her as a TA, and she was teaching something, and she said, "Don't worry, this can never hurt anybody. Everyone can do it." So one guy, we all do it, and one guy goes, I'm actually feeling, oops, until now. So no, it was all good. There was no fearfulness. Some of us, if we do something that makes people feel uncomfortable, we get all freaked out about it. But Donna has such faith and such lightness about these things that she just stored that in her head and said, oh, sometimes people can get nauseous from that, and she'll probably make some adjustment. But her utter ease and refusal to get stressed and be anything but loving and laughing, I really like that. And I try to hold on to that for myself, that let's lighten up, let's just follow it. Let's have as much fun and not get too bogged down. I see that with students a lot, that they get so worried about how they do it and doing it exactly right. And, you throw stuff on the wall, you see what sticks. And if it didn't work, you just try something else. There's always a million things to try. So that lightheartedness, I really, really enjoy.
Well, I think one of the reasons that people in the program can get so overwhelmed is that Donna has brought so much. I mean, she's combined the kinesiology, brain gym, traditional Chinese medicine, and there's so many things that we learn. And it takes a while to really understand just what you said. Got to throw this on the wall, and if it doesn't stick, try something else. And of course, we see Donna in those radiant circuits all the time. So what gets your radiant circuits going, Marjorie? What's your favorite exercise for that?
Well, I have to say that I have a bunch of exercises that do it, but mostly it's being out in nature and doing things out in nature. I live in New York City, but I have a roof deck, and I plant it every spring, and I always do my energy work up there. People have their back 40. I call it my top 40, actually. And I trace my radiant circuits every day. Let me think about that. So nature and beauty is really big for me. I also will, I trace them every day, and actually connecting heaven and earth is a classic favorite of mine. I find that just never lets me down. It just, really gives it to me every time. But also, tapping in, I will often think about my cats when they were kittens, my nieces and nephews when they were little. And the thing that no matter how I feel, if I really think about my cats as kittens, it just opens and I tap that in. So I will use my mental energy for that quite a bit. And I find that because, I do believe in our culture that we tend to look at problems, not solutions. Clients will come in and say, I hate when my husband does this and he does this and he does that. I often will say to them after a while, what is it you'd like him to do? What do you wish he would do instead? They'll give me 1 minute of that, and then they're back to all the things he does wrong. So I also think just the cultivating the habit of thinking about, even if you're in a bad spot, what is it I want to happen? How I would like to have that be? And right away, it starts turning your boat in the direction of that. So I don't, if I'm blue about something, I will think about my cats as kittens or my nieces and nephews as little kids. And if I feel better, it's raised my energy and everything starts doing better, not focusing on that problem specifically. So I've gone off on a tangent a bit, but I told you this wood can get watery sometimes, so hopefully it's interesting.
Well, Margie, I know that you're going to bring Donna and David here, and that's really just a month away. So we have a couple people from our study group here in South Jersey coming. Can you tell us about that, how that's set up? Because that's going to be right in New York City.
Yes, it is. So it's going to be hosted by the Open Center, and I think you're going to give them a link for that as one of the slides after this. Yes. It's on Saturday, June 25th. Oh no, I'm sorry, Friday, June 24th.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday the 24th. And it's just going to be 7 to 10. It's going to be 3 hours of Donna Unplugged. It's going to be really informal. I'm sure she is going to talk about stuff that a lot of us already know, but I will say that even as an advanced practitioner faculty member, even her teaching the basics of energy medicine, being in her presence and watching her move through it is really inspirational, and you get something new every single time. And the truth is that Donna and David are really winding down how many live events that they do. I think they're over 1,000 in the events they've done in the last 15 years. And so I think that it's really precious to have the opportunity to just interface with Donna directly and be in her direct spirit. So I really recommend those, especially those who haven't been in Donna's presence very often, to take advantage of this if they can, because it's always a blast. Always. And she always has the idea she's going to teach daily energy routine stuff, but you know, Donna, it's like following a butterfly, you know, it's just, you kind of, or a firefly, like you just kind of want to catch the glow. It's never a direct line, but the trip is always just delicious.
Well, you were just speaking about all the things they've done in person, and I know you and I were talking earlier that they're moving to some more online things. You want to mention that also? Yes.
So it's been really great. We have a new chief operating officer with InnerSource now, Jeffrey McDonald. Jeffrey, I think that's his last name. And one thing he's brought is that he's starting to create an online presence for us, which I think is awesome. I mean, nothing beats in-person study, but the truth is this is our day and age, and especially if we want to hit younger populations or people who can't travel, doing online stuff is really important. So there's a group called the Shift Network, and actually 2 certification students hooked this up for us and kind of were a liaison. And we're in the middle of a 12-week online program. It's a weekly program for 12 weeks. It's a 5-day event. So it's a lot of daily energy routine stuff, but also further, there's one class I participated in that was doing chakra clearing. So it gets a little bit more advanced than just the daily energy stuff. I think they're doing one on sensory types. They're going to do another, I think, 12-week program similarly in November with Shift. They're going to do a more advanced program, and now they're also negotiating with Sounds True, which is another big audio company, and I think one called Mind Body. So there's going to be a lot more online stuff, and similar to this, even more sophisticated. If you sign up for these courses, they have an online chat. So what'll happen is Donna has taped classes that she's done. People watch it, but then there'll be 2 or 3 faculty members, myself included, who will kind of man the live chat feature. So people are asking questions about what's happening as it's happening. And we're saying, yeah, you could do it on yourself, or you could do it this way on a friend, or yes, you can do it seated or standing. And then after each class, there's a 30-minute Q&A with all senior faculty members like myself. So people can write in chat questions, or they can call and have a direct interface. So it's really rich, it's sophisticated. Anyone who signs up for those also can look back on the transcripts and rewatch the videos in case they missed it or missed part of it or want to see it again. So these are awesome programs, and what that does is it gives people an easy, really inexpensive way of getting a taste of Donna's work, and then possibly being sparked to either do more classes in person or possibly foundations and get on a track to study energy medicine in a more in-depth way. So I think it's awesome. The more ways. So this one class, the first one, they had over 500 participants, which is amazing.
Yeah. Well, and I agree with you. That's the way of the future. And they're all recorded, so people can watch them at their leisure. As you said, they can go back and watch them again. I think it's a great idea. I'm just going to see if I can get this screen share up with their.
There we go.
There it goes. Okay. Mm-hmm. And let me see. So Okay, can you see that okay, Marjorie?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Okay. And this is information for everyone on how to get in touch with Margie. And I also will have this on the replay link email that you get, all the information on how to touch base with Margie. These links are not clickable, but the ones on the email will be. I also have Donna's link that will be clickable on the email. There's that information. Donna and David will be there together. And you can also find out more information about that at www.learnenergymedicine.com. So you'll have that to review. And just a reminder, I want to thank everybody for joining us for this online interview, because this is the way of the future with Margie and Elsie. And there is Margie's link again for her website. She has a lot of information on there and also about her classes. And there is a link for my website. And here is information on my work as well. And I'm trying to put together an Unstoppable You anti-aging master plan for lifelong wellness. So love to have you join us for any of these. We'll keep you posted. And if you get on Margie's site, you can get on her newsletter, and same with me, so that you will have that to follow up with. We're back.
There we go.
It actually worked this time.
Woohoo,
You never know. Right.
Yeah,
So if anybody,
sorry.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, Denise, thanks. Denise said great information. Thanks so much. Anybody has any questions, you can again type them in. I'll be able to see them and ask Marjorie. And Marjorie, one question before we close out is, what do you see as the future of energy medicine? Because New York is certainly a hub for the latest things that are happening throughout the United States and often the world.
Yeah, I think two things are happening simultaneously. One, with, Donna always talks about using energy medicine to evolve the body to manage all of the new energies and chemicals that we've been flooded with over the last 30, 40 years that we have not evolved to be able to handle. And I know from my practice that, 15 years ago or 20, I didn't know anyone with fibromyalgia or multiple sclerosis. Now, all sorts of irritable bowel, Crohn's, asthma, autoimmune disease, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue. Everyone knows what these things are. So that's one part of it. What's happened is that these are all things for which Western medicine only has symptom relief. It does not have a cure for these things. And people want more. We're in an information age. So people, in their desperation for healing, now can look online and get the word on all of these different modalities. So people are coming to folks like me. They're feeling better. They're telling their friends. And so the combination of having a modality that really does work by making the body healthier, at the same time that there's such an increase in so many debilitating diseases that Western medicine doesn't have an answer for, that is just making this work explode. I'm busier this year than I ever was, and I could say the same for last year up until then. People want this work and they need it. Women with hormones, Western medicine does not have anything for hormones except birth control pills and hormone replacement. So, for psoriasis, so many different things that we just don't have cures for, and people want more, and we have it to give. So that I just see this growing and growing and growing, and I think it's awesome. And you will never hear me pan. It sounds like I'm panning Western medicine. I'm not. I think it's really necessary in a lot of instances, but I always think, make that the last thing I do, not the first thing I do. Let me use natural ways to make my body stronger. And I have found that I can take care of 90% of what comes my way. If I have pneumonia and I'm not getting better, I'm going to take an antibiotic, but I won't take it for every little thing that happens. So I give my body a chance to get stronger and use that if I can't, figure it out on my own. So anyway, I think it's an awesome time to be people like us. We're at the cutting edge, and the world is slowly starting to see how valuable and powerful this is.
I couldn't agree more. I've got a great question from Margot Zapp, and she wants to know, what is your favorite crystal for chakra clearing?
So a set of crystals that my dear friend Sarah Allen got me from in London, and they are all quartz. They're clear crystals, but she's colored them. So I have a set of 15 of them, or 16, and they're the most beautiful colors. So I will, if I don't want to think too hard, I'll use the standard colors, red for root, orange for second, etc. But if I want to get more serious, I will, again, if let's say I tap a heart chakra and it's weak, I'll try various colors, put it on the solar plexus, tap again, and see what gets strong. So the body will tell you which to use in that way. So that's my go-to.
Great. Margaret, I hope that answers your question. And if anybody else has any questions, Karen sent in a note. She says, thanks, Marjorie. She really appreciates the information and loves your energy.
Awesome. Thanks, Karen.
Yeah. So just a reminder to everyone that I'll be sending the replay link out in about an hour, and it will have all of Margie's information. Also the link if you want to register for Donna's one evening only, Friday, June 24th in New York City. And it's always exciting to be in New York City if you're from anywhere else. The energy itself is just mind-blowing. So,
and if you like food, it's a fun place to eat. I will also say one more time that I will be teaching a full day digestion class that will again be with oils, energy medicine, and energy psychology in Annapolis, Maryland. So if anyone's interested in that, it's June 18th. It'll be a 9:30 to 5:30 class. Be really tons of fun. If anyone's interested, they can just use the contact information and give me a shout, and I'll give the info to you.
Okay, great. So you can get in touch with Marjorie right through her email or through her website. All of that information will be up on the replay link. So everybody, this was great. It was exciting to talk to you. And Marjorie, I agree with what you just said a few minutes ago. We are definitely on the cutting edge of the world's new energy medicine.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Elsie, for letting me participate in your program. It was really fun.
Great. I love it too. And this is our last online coaching for till the end of the summer. Want everybody to have a great Memorial Day weekend, and we'll see you in the fall, and we'll be in touch then. And don't forget, if you want to attend Marjorie's class, get in touch with her because it's June 18th. It's not that far away. Okay, good night, everybody.
Everybody.
Good night.